Okay, we are recording.
Hi, good day, everybody in Credentialing community. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our first webinar. Our first guest speaker is Mr. Nick Soto. He's the Vice President of Professional Development for CMAA, and he will be discussing today the CMAA organization and credentialing opportunities. Mr. Soto, go ahead, floor yours.
Thank you. And I appreciate everyone joining today and spending a little bit of time with me. Just so you have a better idea of who I am and where I come from, is my background is in association management and credentialing and accreditation. I spent the last 14 years running several different ANSI-accredited certification programs, and I'm heavily involved within the industry of the certification community to develop credentials and standards that go along with those credentials. As Tamara alluded to, I'm going to talk a lot about the CMAA programs, specifically the CCM and the CMIT programs, and a little bit about where we come from. So we're going to discuss what are CMAA and CMCI, what is the construction manager certification, what is the construction manager and training program, and what is the Stackable Credentials program. But most importantly, the thing I'd like to make sure we have time for today is any Q&A, questions and answers that you may have. That is the most important thing. And I'll ask that you type in your questions in the chat box as we go. That way you don't have to remember them. And at the end of the presentation, I'll go ahead and go back and read through some of those and answer as many as I possibly can. So what is CMAA? It was a nonprofit that was formed in 1982, like SAME, for the construction management industry. We have over 15,000 members, and it's made up of CMPM practitioners, corporate members, owners, both public and private, academic and associate members. CMAA has 29 regional chapters, and it's also an ABET accrediting organization. The mission of CMAA is to promote the profession of construction management and the use of qualified construction managers on capital projects. CMA has a multitude of programs just like SAME, but the two we're going to focus on today is CMCI, which is the independent governing body for the CM certification program, and the certificate program for aspiring construction managers. So who is CMCI? CMCI is the Construction Manager Certification Institute, and they're responsible for administering the Construction Manager Certification program, and it's made up of volunteers who make up the Board of Governors. And they set the policies and procedures, the strategic goals, and they audit applications that come in for credentials and for recertification.
The building where you work and the road that gets you there. The infrastructure that delivers your water and energy and removes your waste. The places you go for fun and for life's necessities. Everything from airports to subways, from hospitals to parks. It's all part of the built environment that shapes your life every day. It's called the built environment for a reason. Somebody had to build it. In fact, a lot of somebody. Construction is a big, complex, and risky business that involves a lot of talented people. Together, they form a team whose job is to transform a blank piece of paper into a finished, functioning structure. Leading this team is the role of the construction manager. Construction managers apply talent, technology, and other tools to help project owners control their risk and achieve their goals. Today's ANSI-accredited certified construction manager brings professionalism to the project and provides leadership by unifying architects, general contractors, engineers, and facility managers to successfully complete the project. The CCM is familiar with the latest techniques and technologies of construction, from prefabrication to building information modeling. He or she thoroughly understands sustainable design and construction, how projects are financed, and how risks can be minimized and effectively shared. The certified construction manager is a communicator, a facilitator, a problem solver, a professional leader. Certified construction managers have the proven knowledge and experience to deliver all these values for every project. Make the CCM part of your strategy for success.
So the Certified Construction Manager designation is really somebody who is looking to demonstrate their commitment to excellence in program, project, and construction management and the ongoing pursuit of knowledge. This is somebody who is very much involved with the industry, has experience, and is willing to demonstrate that by meeting the criteria set by the Board of Governors. And that criteria is somebody who's met the formal industry-specific education or experience, has at least 48 months of responsible charge construction management experience, and somebody who's demonstrated the understanding of CMAA standards of practice in the CII Best Practices Guide. In 2006, the CCM achieved its accreditation through the American National Standards Institute, which is also in accordance with the 17024 standard, and I'll go into what that means here in just a moment. But CM certification provides a respected career path for CM professionals. It sets open, tested, and clear industry standards so that owners and service providers and supervisors can evaluate their staff. And it establishes reliable professional development, since you are required to continue maintenance of that credential.
CMAA's Construction Manager Certification Program is based on industry-wide standards of practice. It's ANSI accredited, which assures fairness both domestically and internationally. And our CII endorsement is growing the certification program in significance and stature around the world.
I found that the material that was examined and that I needed to pass the exam for the CCM to help reduce the risk on our projects and for our clients. I found it personally valuable, and we've encouraged all of our employees to go ahead and get their CCM.
To have a CCM on the project, number one, it's being required by more clients now. Number two, we feel it brings the professionalism into the project that makes us above the competitive edge. The CCM credential marks an individual as having attained professional excellence in construction management. We believe that having CCMs on our staff tells our clients that we have qualified professionals who are ready to serve their needs and reduce risk on their projects. The credential also helps us to bring in our projects on time, on budget, environmentally compliant, and of high quality. Construction management literacy is important to us, and the additional training that's required to renew your certification helps us know that construction managers are continually learning while they're in the field.
So in 2013, the Construction Industry Institute endorsed the CCM credential, and it urged its company members to seriously consider the benefits CCMs can bring to the execution of their capital projects. Then in 2016, the Society of American Military Engineers endorsed the CCM, stating that the society has determined that the CCM clearly identifies the most experienced and effective professional construction managers. Earning the CCM can advance your career, strengthen your proposals, and help you deliver successful projects. So a few more benefits of the CCM is that it obviously comes with a certificate and a digital badge, since it is a credential. But it's like wearing your resume on your shoulder. It's something that gives you your credentials after your name, which is 48 months of responsible and charge experience. It shows that you have at least 2 references that are willing to attest to that experience. You've been tested on the industry standards and the best practices, and you adhere to a code of ethics, and you've also maintained that knowledge through the recertification process. Because it meets that 17024 ANSI ISO standard, it's internationally transferable, which means it not only means the same thing from state to state here within the country, it also means it in over 180 different countries around the world. It is industry relevant with over 4,500 other CCMs, and it's owner recognized. So Stephen Ayers, the architect of the Capitol, says that CCMs reduce risk on construction projects, and reducing risk is what makes us successful. And then James Dalton of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers states that the Certified Construction Manager is a certification that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers embraces as a measure of achievement as our graduate engineers mature to a professional construction manager. And then Colonel Scott Warner states that As a long-term member of the Society of American Military Engineers, I was excited to see the partnership between SAME and CMAA, as well as the endorsement of the CCM by SAME as the only personnel credential in the construction industry that specifically and reliably identifies its holders as qualified professional construction managers.
We like to hire people with CCMs because we know that when they are reviewing schedule impact, cost impact, we can trust in their ability to look at their situation and give us the best recommendation and best value to us.
The CCMs that we employ on our projects come with a demonstrated knowledge and abilities to help us drive our complex medical projects and our cemeteries to completion on time and within budget. One of the things that we look at now is the certification as a certified construction manager is one of those basic requirements for our program. One of the things that's critical to us is risk management. It takes qualified people to manage risk. And we rely on certified construction management credentials to know that we have people that can manage the risks for us. The credential also helps us to bring in our projects on time, on budget, environmentally compliant, and of high quality.
So whether you are the owner in the public or private sectors, working with CCM means less risk, more proactive approach to ensuring that your best interests are represented, and a greater confidence level in your ability to control the outcomes of your projects and programs.
So we get a lot of people who ask, well, I hear you saying that these are the benefits and that the various owners are requiring this, you're looking for this, and this will help me get better jobs, better opportunities, but show me the money. And basically what we have on our website is a page that shows different various owners, like Virginia Department of Transportation, the LA Unified School District, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, GSA, the Chicago Housing Authority, New York City Department of Design and Construction, and we have over 30 or 40 examples on our website that actually show you the RFPs requiring the CCMs or preferring it throughout their projects as the RFQs and RFPs get submitted. So basically, you've heard everything that I'm telling you why you should get it. Let me tell you how to get it now. So the first thing you're going to need to do is determine your eligibility. Then you're going to want to complete the application, which is online. And that'll ask you to submit your resume, a degree, transcript, experience, your references, your payment, and then you're going to, once approved, need to pass the examination. So what are the eligibility requirements? The first avenue of three that you can take to become eligible is a 4-year degree from an accredited university, plus 4 years of responsible in charge experience. If you don't have a 4-year degree and you only have a 2-year degree, you can use that plus 4 years of additional construction experience, plus 48 months of responsible in charge experience to be eligible. And lastly, if you do not have a degree and you have 8 years of construction experience plus 40 months of responsible in charge experience, you can be eligible. So you keep hearing me say responsible in charge. What is responsible in charge? If you look in our application handbook or on our website, you can see a long definition of what responsible in charge means to the Board of Governors. But to make this simple, I'm going to break it down to 3 questions that are very easy to answer. Was the CM empowered to make a direct impact on the successful project completion? Was the CM directly in charge of construction management services? And did the CM protect the project in the owner's best interest? So where do you have to have this responsible in charge experience? You're going to want to get used to looking at this qualification matrix. And anywhere you see the letters RIC is where the governors expect that you have at least touched being responsible in charge, meaning you were the person who signed off on the project to keep the project moving forward. And you don't need 48 months in each of these areas. You need to have touched it. It's a cumulative total of 48 months. As stated earlier, you are required to provide references for each project you decide to submit to demonstrate that responsible in charge experience. There needs to be at least 2 unique references throughout your application. So a minimum of 2 references, and no matter how many projects you submit, and at least 2 unique ones. So you can use the same reference over each project, but it needs to have at least 2 different references total. And everyone always asks me, how long does it take to get through this process? Well, my answer always is going to be, it depends. It depends on how fast your references respond, because we at the office cannot process the application until we've received all the references you submitted on the application. So it's important to inform your references that once you submit your application, they are automatically going to receive the reference email. It's pretty instant. And within 5 minutes of you submitting the application, they will have it in their inbox. And the purpose is obviously to verify and confirm the experience that you're citing on your application.
Are you ready to apply for the CCM designation? Congratulations on taking a step towards advancing your career. The Certified Construction Manager is the only CM certification accredited by the American National Standards Institute. For the first time, the CCM application is available online. Now it's easier than ever to complete and register for the exam. To start, go to the CMAA website, select CCM, and click Apply Now. Start a new application or return to one you've saved. If you've been using CMPath, you can log in and save time by automatically adding your information directly into your CCM application. The step-by-step tool walks you through submitting your information, eligibility, employment, and experience, and submit your payment in one easy process. Still prefer to mail it in? You can download and print your application from any step in the process. Once your references have verified your experience, your application is approved, and you will be contacted to schedule your exam at a location near you. Demonstrate your professionalism and leadership by applying for the gold standard in construction management certification today.
So as I stated, we will process your application once all the references have been received and that we verified they're stating everything the same way you put it on your application. And all applications are subject to audit by CMCI even after approval, but we keep you moving through the process and let you know how that goes along the way. And you'll be contacted by CMCI once you're approved to schedule your exam. So let's talk about the exam for a minute. Once you've been approved for the exam, you have 1 year of eligibility to pass it from the day we've notified you. You can take the exam up to 3 times within that year, but there's a 45-day waiting period in between each attempt. So you don't want to wait till the 12th month to try to take all 3 attempts. You won't be allowed to. And if extensions are granted based on the needs, so if you have a need for an extension, if you're off-site, or if you're going to be out of commission or off the grid for a while, just let us know and we can make exemptions for those kind of purposes. Now, the test is offered year-round at local testing centers. There's over 800 different testing centers around the world. It's a computer-based exam, and it's a 4-hour time length with 175 multiple-choice questions. And I know a lot of people get worried about taking exams, so just so you know, those who truly have responsible and charge experience tend to have an 84% pass rate when sitting for the exam on the first attempt. But what's covered on the exam? Program and project management, cost management, time management, quality management, contract administration, professional practice, safety and risk management, sustainability, and it also includes the CII best practices. So the second most popular question I get asked is, how do I prepare? And the first thing I'm going to recommend is that you study the body of knowledge. It's the primary documents that are used to write the exam questions. We have a professional construction management course, and that is a 3-day in-person course. It includes the CMAA study kit. And we have the online modules. That is 10 modules of instruction that require about 18 hours to complete. And that is something that we're revising right now, but they are currently something that is also used and based off those materials from the body of knowledge. And what do they cover? They cover the building information modeling, contract administration, cost management, professional practice, project quality, time management, sustainability, value engineering. And then we also have our study kits and our published documents that you can buy individually or all together. And none of these are required. These are just recommendations. So if you feel comfortable with the outlines of the exam, you don't have to take any of these things. These are just ways that you can use to prepare. And those who usually do choose to prepare end up with higher scores. That is probably not a surprise to most people. But we have the CMA standards of practice, which is the basis of the entire exam. We also have the capstone, which is the fundamentals and what our CMIT program is based off of, which I'll go into in just a moment. The CII best practices guide. We have the contract administration, cost, quality, time, and sustainability guidelines. We also have our contract documents. You've also heard me earlier mention about maintaining your certification, recertifying, and what does that require? Every 3 years, you're required to renew your CCM. That's done by earning 25 points through 2 identified areas, which is involvement in the profession, meaning keep your job, keep doing things for the industry, keep going to SIME events, CMAA events, keep going to those types of things, keep earning credentials, keep taking education and staying up to date, and you'll be good to go. It's pretty easy to get the 25 points. Anything you've taken for your PE license or your architecture license or any of those kinds of things are also applicable to your CCM credential. And the points are earned from any time from the date you earn the CCM to your next expiration date, or from your previous expiration date to your next expiration date. So it doesn't roll over. This is not AT&T. We don't roll over minutes. So you are required 25 points every 3 years. Now, for CCMs, we also added Research Track, which is a tool to help keep track of not only your CCM points, but any certificates for professional development that you have for your PE or any license or certifications, your PMP, your lead certifications, any of those types of things can be kept track of in Research Track. And the nifty thing about Research Track is that once you've accumulated your 25 points and you're coming up on your expiration date, all you have to do is click pay and it submits all the documentation for you. So again, we try to make maintaining it as easy as possible on the end user. So you've heard a lot about the CCM, and I'm going to go into now a little bit about the CMIT program, which is probably a lot of you sitting here going, well, I don't have that 48 months responsible in charge experience, or my team does not yet. They're not there yet. That's a little bit too advanced for them. They're not put in charge of everything yet. They haven't hit all those RIC experience places. And in walks the CMIT program. That's our construction management training program. And that's designed for newly rising dedicated professionals who are looking to become more involved in the construction management industry or profession. It's a commitment to continued development. It shows employers, bosses, supervisors, coworkers that they're dedicated to becoming professional construction managers, and that they have the knowledge of the practice and procedures that represent the CCM. As I stated earlier, the basis of the CMIT program is our capstone course, which is the basic and fundamentals. Well, that translates directly into our standards of practice, which is what helps develop our CCM. So who is the CMIT for? It's those who are soon to be or recent graduates of accredited engineering or architecture or construction management degrees, working graduate degree candidates, early career construction management individuals focused on pursuing the CCM, experienced professionals dedicated to becoming professional construction managers, perhaps through the trades, or who are coming from a different industry. And it's those for active duty military reserve or veterans looking to translate their experience into the field of civilian workforce, or to take it back to their supervisor to show that they're using industry best practices and standards. So what are the program benefits? Well, like the CCM, you're going to get your certificate and be able to use that to demonstrate it. But one of the key elements that I think of this program is very valuable is the one-on-one mentoring experience that you get access to through the CMIT program. Once you have obtained your CMIT, you get access to our CMIT, our mentor directory. And the mentors are made up of our CCMs. So what that is a tool for you to be able to talk to somebody who is an experienced veteran within the industry to talk about a little bit more about how I gain experience, or I've run into this problem on this project. What do I need to do? What do you think I should be doing here? What do you think my next transition should be in my career path? So it's the entry level to the Stackable Credentials program, which I'm going to go to in just a moment, which is a step-by-step, basically, a career path to becoming a professional construction manager, or CCM. So we look at the CMIT as the entry gateway to our construction management profession, and we lead the stackable credentials all the way up to the CCM as the path to continuing that knowledge, to showing the various levels of experience that you've earned and achieved, and a way to demonstrate that to your supervisors or your superior officers so that you can show them, I have this knowledge, I'm gaining this experience, I need you to put me on this because I have this to show you that I can do this. And it's going to lead to potential job opportunities and hopefully growth within yourself for professionals as individuals and for organizations. So we tout this a lot as training programs for organizations. I know the Veterans Affairs is looking very closely at instilling the Stackable Credentials as their training program for all new CMs in their program. So what does it take to be eligible for the CMIT? And that's completing the online application and meeting one of the following criteria. So a bachelor's or master's degree in engineering, architecture, or construction management, or at least have 75 credit hours towards that bachelor's degree, an associate's degree or certificate in engineering, architecture, or construction management, or at least 4 years of general design or construction experience. And then you have to complete that online capstone course and then an online CMIT examination. The good thing about the CMIT program, though, is all online, so you don't have to leave the comfort of your home. Unlike the CCM, which is at testing centers around the world, this can be done in the comfort of your home in your own time, on your laptop, where you're comfortable and have time to do so. So Joseph Kovac is a CMIT from Balfour Beatty, and he states that the CMIT certification helped separate my resume from the rest because it showed that I was willing and serious about pursuing construction management as a career. Nick Nadeau of AECOM states that even at the entry level, earning the CMIT designation distinguishes you as having gone the extra mile to demonstrate your commitment and dedication to professional development and confirms a base level knowledge of CM concepts. And Raju Kaval of the LA Unified School District has confidence in our construction managers in training, as they have made significant investment in themselves professionally and demonstrated a sound commitment to the industry as a whole. And we've actually seen Raju instill a program at the LAUSD where he is paying people who are coming to him with the application of CMIT, and they hired 20 of them recently, a starting salary of $75,000, along with their cell phone coverage and things, all encompassed into that role if they have a CMIT. It is a preferred designation for their entry-level CM job. So program overview for the CMIT program is that there's almost 4,000 CMITs, and it is a prerequisite to the Stackable Credentials program. The digital badge and certificate to promote that you have the designation. And the cost of this is $75 for CMA members. It is, if you work for a mega member organization, it does not cost you a thing. Or if you're active duty military or reserves, it costs you nothing. If you're a non-member, don't worry, it's still not that expensive. You can get it for $125. That includes the program and the course. But if you're an active duty military or reserves, all you need is your email address. So you can go to the online application and go ahead and enter your .mil email address, and it will automatically register you at $0 cost for this program. So one thing I wanted to touch on is, and you've heard me mention a few times, is the Stackable Credentials program, which is under development now, but we plan on rolling this out starting in 2020. And what this is something that's going to require that you have a CMIT to be eligible, and references in between each level. Each model will have an exam before you move up to the next level. And the benefits of this is it's going to help define and train path, a training path for developing construction managers. It's going to help aspiring construction managers gain knowledge toward responsible and charge experience. And it's going to offer the same thing like digital badges and mid-level certificates and credentials to demonstrate that knowledge and hopefully allow you to show your superior officers and your supervisors that you have the knowledge and some experience that you can be put on larger, bigger, better projects to do bigger, better things and hopefully eventually earn your CCM and take on larger roles of bigger organizations or bring back more knowledge to your team. So if you're not still sure what I mean by stackable credentials, this is just a demonstrated example of this, what the program looks like. So you earn your CMIT, and then you're eligible for your CMIT level 1. So in order to earn your CMIT, you're going to take your capstone course and your CMIT exam. At level 1, after you pass your exam for CMIT, you're going to have to take the online modules that include project management, professional practice, cost management, and you're going to take an overall exam for level 1 on each of these modules. It'll be a short test on each one of these modules that you've just taken. And you're going to see that same thing on level 2, and you're going to say the same thing on level 3 and level 4, and all the way till you build up through level 5, which you'll take an overarching exam that is going to talk a little bit about each of those areas and a little bit more in depth and require a little bit of experience. So you've had some time to gain this knowledge. Now you've had some time to earn some experience in the industry or in the field of construction management. You'll take your CMIP exam, construction manager in practice. And then that should be hopefully leading you by that point to be a trusted professional in the construction management industry, to be able to start earning that RIC experience. And then that should leave you ready to take the CCM exam. But this should also be in your career progression as you gain that experience. This is a good way to advocate for promotions and different types of things, incentives for your supervisor to be giving you more responsibility and help with your career progression. So what I'm asking today is basically that you take into consideration, if you're looking at construction management as a profession, that you demonstrate your commitment. So if I had to pick things in this presentation that you should probably be looking at and highlighting as the things I want you to walk away with, is that the CCM is the gold standard anti-accredited personnel credential for construction management. The CCM promotes broader recognition of CMs as professionals who are well experienced and act in the best interest of the organization and the public to help reduce risks on complex projects. The CMIT program can help prepare CMs for applying to become a CCM and help demonstrate their commitment to becoming professional construction managers. And the CMIP program can help organizations develop their teams, achieve the knowledge necessary to become professional CMs. So that is the bulk of my presentation. I come to the portion I like the most, which is the question answer portion of this presentation. But before we move on to that, I will be at the Joint Engineering and Training Conference SAMI is hosting in May in Tampa, Florida. We'll be at booth number 915. So if you think of questions after this presentation, you can always shoot me an email, give me a phone call, or come visit me at the booth. And before then, we will also be at Army Engineer Week at Fort Leonard Wood, April 12th to the 9th. So you can also come find me there as well. That being said, I will ask that any questions you have be typed in the chat box, and I'm happy to answer this for as long as questions keep rolling in. And my contact information and my colleagues' contact information, if you have questions on certification, you can contact Colin or Andrea. For professional development, anything on training and courses, you can contact Alex Cortez or Noel Mormon. And our website is cmcertification.org. You can find all the information that I've said here, and we have plenty of flyers and different handbooks that will help you through the process if you don't feel like giving us a call or you want the information immediately. So we do have a couple of questions that are in here, so I'm going to go ahead and read the questions back and see if we can give you some resolutions to those. And the first one is testing administered by state and different requirements. The answer to that is no. We use PSI testing centers. They are somebody, a third-party vendor that proctors the exam for us, and they have different locations, probably within every major city, if not within 50 miles of every major city in the U.S. and around the world. So they have testing centers on military bases in different areas across the world. And the second part of that question is the CCM certification issued at the national level and recognized across the country? The CCM is actually issued by CMAA, and it is, because of the accreditation, it is recognized around the world. So it is a worldwide credential, not just nationally. So is the credential valid in each state? It absolutely is, but this is a certification, which is different than a professional engineering license or a license of any kind. A license is required by each state and is set the curriculum by each state. And the certification is voluntary and is done to demonstrate skills or knowledge that, or both, that have been earned, and it's voluntarily done, meaning you don't have to take it to do a particular job. However, through those RFPs and RFQs I was showing you, we see it more and more preferenced, and we have links to jobs, over 300 current jobs out there in the day-to-day world right now that are requiring or preferring the CCM in order to get those jobs. So it's being preferred, not required. So the difference of a license is when you take your PE, let's say you're in the state of California, your PE is good in California. It may meet some of the requirements for other states. Well, your certification is transferable from California to Virginia. It doesn't matter what the requirements are. You've met the worldwide standard for the certification program. I hope that answers that question.
Nick, I think that's it for questions.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for joining us, and for everybody online, we'll be posting this to the website, and you'll be able to share it with whoever you want, whoever's interested in this credential. We should appreciate everybody for joining, and thanks again, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Nick, and thanks, Kathy. I just want to caveat the end here. For those of you that are listening in and will be watching in the future, on the SAME website, when you log in, there's an opportunity to select a box for committees and councils that you're interested in. So please feel free to select the box for the credentialing committee. This will allow you to receive email notifications and participate in monthly calls. And this also helps us shape and influence the efforts and goals of the committee at the national level. And we're always looking for input and different points of view and a very collaborative environment. So again, thank you, Kathy and Nick, for doing this webinar and getting this great and valuable information out.